Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Nearly half of bathrooms at Mission Bay Park are closed. It's a result of city budget cuts. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jacob Ayer in for Maya Trabulsi. The city council member says he may have found a funding surplus that could reopen the restrooms. KPBS reporter Takei says there's a disagreement about how the extra money should be used.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. But finding a bathroom in Mission Bay Park isn't that easy. Nearly half of them are closed. It's the result of a city budget cut. For joggers, walkers, and playground users, that means their visits can get uncomfortable quick.
I'm sure people don't want a bunch of, kids running around having to find places to go because they can't hold it as long.
Angela Rivera brings her grandkids to the park once a week. She didn't expect the closures. She says she was forced to use another option.
The bathrooms were closed, so sadly we had to use an alternative, which was a tree.
The city closed 13 out of 28 bathrooms. Mayor Todd Gloria says he stands by the closures.
The mayor sent KPBS a memo. He says he shares concerns that the bathrooms may have on visitors, but the city doesn't have the money to maintain them. Councilmember Raul Campillo says he thinks otherwise.
We should have kept these bathrooms open. We had the money to do it if we had budgeted correctly. We have the money now to do it. So why aren't we doing it?
It costs $540,000 to keep the bathrooms open. Campillo says the city has $1.8 million left over in the budget. It came from a ballot measure that was cut.
We need to take care of this because it's a public health issue. It's a disservice to residents of the city of San Diego. They shouldn't have to walk 30 minutes to the next restroom. They might point and say, we have 15 of them open. Well, that means instead of walking a few minutes, you have to walk 30 minutes. That's unacceptable. We're better than that as a city.
The mayor rejected the proposal. In the meantime, families like the Riveras will have to hold on a little longer. Carly Kay, KPBS News.
Work to clear homeless encampments on state land near local freeways will continue. Governor Gavin Newsom announced an extension of a pilot program that started last year. It allows San Diego greater flexibility to proactively clear encampments. The agreement covers a 5-mile area that includes downtown, Sherman Heights, and Barrio Logan. The state reimburses the city for some of the costs. Governor Newsom says the cleanups prioritize encampments that pose a threat to public health and safety. Starting tomorrow, dangerous conditions are expected at local beaches. This is what it looked like earlier today at Ocean Beach. The National Weather Service says a high surf advisory will begin Wednesday and last through Saturday afternoon. Waves are expected to be as high as 7 to 8 feet in some areas. Rip currents are also going to be a problem. The conditions are fueled by Hurricane Genevieve, which is gaining strength in the Pacific south of Baja California.
Well, overnight lows, they're coming down a little bit. We'll take what we can get. There is a little bit of a break in sight when it comes to the heat. We'll talk about exactly when and where coming up.
New polling data suggests the race for California's 48th congressional seat is very close. Public Matters reporter Jake Gata has the details.
The first general election poll released for the 48th congressional district has the two candidates neck and neck as the campaign ramps up. San Diego County Supervisor Jim Desmond and City Council member Marty Von Wilpert came in first and second in the primary in June. A survey of 500 likely voters conducted by Democratic firm Lake Research Partners was released last week. 48% chose Von Wilpert and 46% chose Desmond, with 6% still undecided. But Desmond had a 2-point lead among those who strongly supported either candidate, according to the poll. But because these results are within the margin of error, the two are statistically tied.
So that means that their best guess is that Monty von Wilpert is leading 48-46, but it could be that she's leading 52-42, or it could be that Jim Desmond is leading by 2 percentage points. That's all because of what we call sampling variability.
In a statement to KPBS, the Desmond campaign said he has a, quote, strong record of delivering results, which is why even the Democrats' own poll shows this race is within the margin of error. The von Wilpert campaign shared the poll in a press release. They continue to try and tie Desmond to President Donald Trump. California's 48th district could be one of just a few elections in November that decides who controls the House of Representatives. Jake Gata, KPBS News.
Public Matters is a partnership with KPBS, iNewsSource, and Voice of San Diego. You can see more of our stories at kpbs.org/publicmatters. A prominent labor union leader will not face any further legal action over an arrest last year. It happened during the peak of ICE enforcement operations in Los Angeles. David Huerta was arrested when he showed up to an immigration raid. Widespread protests followed. Huerta is the statewide leader of the Service Employees International Union. He was accused of interfering with federal agents, but today, the Justice Department said it will dismiss the case next month if Huerta complies with the terms of his release. Huerta says the move proves the case was baseless. San Diego's Veterans Affairs healthcare system says a new $205 million spinal cord injury center should open early next year. KPBS military and veterans reporter Andrew Dyer spoke to local paralyzed veterans who say the facility is badly needed after years of delays.
3 years ago, the Army Corps of Engineers said it would open in 2024. Last year, they said it would open early this year. Now, the San Diego VA healthcare system says its new spinal cord injury and community living center will open in early 2027. Jesse Robinson is the president of the Paralyzed Veterans of America San Diego chapter. He says it can't come soon enough.
I have nothing but high regards for what the VA has done for my life. In terms of the new center, it's at this point, it's very desperately needed.
Louis Irvin is also with the PVA.
I mean, there's a massive need for long-term care for spinal cord injuries.
The new facility will have 50 beds, 20 of them for long-term care.
It's an amazing facility, and I would say it's 98% done.
So what's behind the delays? Construction began in 2021. The center was built by the Army Corps of Engineers. A VA San Diego spokesperson says infrastructure and technical problems are to blame for the delays, but those are over. The VA took charge of the building earlier this month. Richard Johnson is a former national president of the PVA. He's used a wheelchair for 60 years and says there's no replacement for the VA.
The key word that you want to use is continuity, care, which I've had since 1965. There's no can go and show up and they know me and they know about me. It's critical. It's life-saving.
The men say the last 5 years of construction have been difficult because the current center is small. What little outdoor space it had became a construction zone.
So there's not a lot of places for veterans on a spinal cord injury to go to get outside and congregate and speak with one another. So that's been very difficult.
Right now, all that's left is installing equipment and furnishings. Irvin says the PVA is helping finalize design elements.
Faucets and mirrors and accessibility, height requirements, spacing around the rooms and in the bed, the technology that goes in the rooms for your environmental control units. This facility is going to be great. It has electric blinds, so you can actually be a patient in a bed and, ask your windows to open and you can see outside where, currently that's not the case.
The VA says the new center should start seeing patients early next year. Andrew Dyer, KPBS News.
President Donald Trump is holding meetings with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House today, with two separate wars top of mind. Maddie Gannon has the latest from the White House.
It's not often we have two different world leaders at the White House on the same day for separate meetings with the president, but that's exactly what we saw take place here Tuesday. President Trump hosted both Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as well as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. These meetings took place ahead of funeral services for former Republican Senator Lindsey Graham in Washington. Now, both of these meetings stayed behind closed doors, but we did hear from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt afterwards, who called them both positive and productive in a post on X. And we know that the war in Iran, as well as the war between Russia and Ukraine, were expected to be discussed. When it comes to the war in Iran, a major question hanging over this meeting between Trump and Netanyahu is just how aligned are these two leaders when it comes to the war in Iran right now. Trump yesterday acknowledged that there is a little difference between them, although he said overall they are pretty closely aligned. And then for Zelensky, it was just a few weeks ago that he and Trump sat down together on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Turkey. There, Trump announced the U.S. would be looking into allowing Ukraine to produce its own Patriot air defense system, something Ukraine has long said it's needed. In a post on X after the meeting, Zelensky confirmed that the two did discuss Patriots. He also said they talked about diplomacy, and overall he said the meeting was good. At the White House, I'm Maddie Gannon.
I'm Amna Navaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, the leaders of Ukraine and Israel both visit the White House at a critical time for the ongoing wars. That's coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
San Diego has been on a push to rezone neighborhoods for higher density housing. The so-called upzoning is motivated by a housing shortage that's increased prices. It's also intended to combat suburban sprawl. KPBS Metro reporter Andrew Bowen dug into the origins of San Diego's spread-out development.
At first glance, San Diego's Mission Hills neighborhood looks like a suburb in the middle of the city. Quiet streets, houses with big yards. But look closer and you'll find a lot more than just single-family homes.
This is an area that was built up in the early 1900s and the teens and the 20s. The streetcar ran down the street.
Mike Stepner lives in Mission Hills and worked in the San Diego City Planning Department for 27 years.
And one of the things about the older neighborhoods is they look very low density, but they have a lot of infill. Duplexes, apartments, granny flats.
Most of those duplexes, apartments, and granny flats were built before Mission Hills was downzoned. Downzoning is when a city changes a neighborhood's land use regulations to allow for less housing. It really took off in San Diego after 1967, the year the city adopted its first general plan. Leaders at the time said the plan would encourage more compact development and less sprawl. In reality, it kicked off decades of downzoning. In the 60s, 70s, and 80s, San Diego downzoned Mission Hills, Hillcrest, North Park, Midway, Claremont, La Jolla, and more. That effectively banned apartments in many of the city's most walkable neighborhoods and pushed growth further into the suburbs. Stepner says the city was using zoning to try and solve every little neighborhood issue, sometimes to the point of absurdity.
And I remember a discussion about whether a yogurt shop is the same as an ice cream shop. And you know, the hell what difference is it? It makes no difference.
Zoning was instituted in the early 20th century as a way of separating industrial from residential uses in predominantly white communities.
Richard Rothstein is a historian and author of The Color of Law. He says throughout the 20th century, cities across America used zoning to segregate neighborhoods by race and class. The country had begun to outlaw explicitly racist housing discrimination. Downzoning, however, could be a more subtle tool for segregation. Supporters often said it would preserve community character.
Preserving community character is a code word for keeping out non-white people. You can't prove it just by the phrase community character, but frequently when you go into the planning meetings and the city council meetings where this is being debated, people do make racially explicit comments that explain what community character means.
Downzoning also prevented lower-cost housing options from ever getting built, says San Diego's city planning director Heidi von Blum.
The higher the density, the more affordable the housing can be. And so if it were not but for the downzoning, we'd probably be in a very different situation than we are today in terms of housing affordability.
Downzoning was the norm in the latter half of the 20th century, but today it's the opposite. The city has significantly upzoned near jobs, public transit, and other amenities. Von Blum says San Diego has run out of vacant land to build low-density housing, so it has to grow inward and upward. And she says when the city is updating a community plan, it listens to more than just the homeowners in that community.
We may hear from decades ago, the community wanted no change, no additional housing. They wanted large lot sizes. We may not have heard from the workers that were working in the community that were commuting in for an hour and really would love the opportunity to live on a smaller lot size in a smaller house and being able to, enjoy that community.
While San Diego has been reversing some of the downzoning from the last century, it has not made significant changes to the city's single-family neighborhoods. That could change later this year with an initiative from Mayor Todd Gloria to allow more townhomes and smaller lots across the city. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
A pedestrian bridge in San Isidro, close to the U.S.-Mexico border, is now home to a new work of public art. The mural is part of a collaboration between Caltrans and local arts leaders. KPBS arts reporter Julia Dixon-Evans shows us how the project is designed to do more than just brighten the space.
At first glance, it might just seem like a painted sidewalk. But new public art on San Isidro's Willow Road footbridge also offers some pretty surprising functional advantages.
It is helping preserve the pavement. The materials can help also reduce ground temperatures because of the reflectivity. We've also piloted a glow-in-the-dark treatment to make the space more vibrant at night.
Nick Buenviaje works on community projects with Caltrans and partnered with Black Box Gallery, a San Isidro art space, to design the bridge mural.
It is a very important bridge to this community. We knew that. There's a lot of history along this bridge.
An elementary school on one side means a steady stream of children crossing to and from school. The nearby library, transit center, and small businesses also generate heavy foot traffic.
There's park spaces on both sides, so it's a pretty heavily used pedestrian bridge.
Albert Gonzalez, co-founder of Black Box Gallery, says the design was inspired by Mexican folk art, alebrijes, brightly colored, fantastical creatures.
I think it's a big part of our culture. It's a spirit animal that's like a protector. It's a guide.
A geometric pattern spans the length of the bridge, painted in 5 bright colors. Some sections are formulated to glow in the dark.
It's actually these like greenish ones that they absorb the sun throughout the day and then at night illuminate. It has an added product to it. But yeah, they do like kind of like a base layer, the glow treatment, and then kind of like a protective coat. So you can even tell the difference between a sunny day and a cloudy day in terms of how much it glows, yeah.
Along the path, stenciled silhouettes highlight neighborhood life and history, like children walking to school and a family planting a tree.
Yeah, this one's one of my favorites. This kind of represents the agricultural history of San Isidro. Kind of the thought that all a family needed to survive was kind of a strong community and a little plot of land. But then obviously there's still to this day, along the Tijuana River Valley, you have a lot of small family farms. And it's also the largest community garden in the county. In San Isidro? In San Isidro along the Tijuana River Valley, yeah.
The mural's benefits may also help make the bridge and the community safer.
There's studies showing that when you beautify an area, it decreases vandalism, decreases the littering, and we saw studies of how it can increase, active transportation and walkability within a neighborhood.
Julia Dixon-Evans, KPBS News.
You can rewatch that story on the new KPBS Arts YouTube channel. That's where we're posting all of the content from the KPBS Arts team, including podcasts, live streams, and original stories. Just search for KPBS Arts and subscribe.
Well, it's all about the heat. We're continuing to see a little bit of a cooling trend as we head into midweek, but then high pressure, it shifts back our way again, and those temperatures, they go up. Now, we'll range towards the end of the week and the peak of the heat expected on Saturday from about 10 to 15 degrees above our historical averages to, in our mountains and deserts, even challenging records in some areas. So just giving you an idea of the scale of the heat that we're talking about. Overnight lows tonight, 75 for Borrego Springs. It's not 80. We'll take it. Mid to upper 60s across the coast here. 66 in Oceanside, 68 in San Diego, and then 57 there in Ramona. As we head into tomorrow, well, still 110 in Borrego Springs. Low 90s for Ramona, though, and then we're in the upper 70s across the board from Chula Vista all the way up to Oceanside. Here's the alerts that we need to talk about. So still have the extreme heat warning and then a heat advisory along the coast. These go into effect 10 a.m. Thursday, and then they're going to last through 8 p.m. Monday. So giving you another timeline of when we have the extreme and dangerous heat. Let's look at the next 5 days, give you kind of an outline here of how this plays out. So along the coast, 79 for your Wednesday. We're back into the 80s by Thursday, and we stay there through the weekend. 83 is our peak come Saturday, and some of that humidity is going to be around too. So keep an eye on how that impacts your temperatures. It's definitely going to feel warmer out there than maybe the number that you're seeing here. Further inland, we're in the upper 80s Wednesday, Thursday. We get to 96 by the time we get to Saturday, and then start to already fall by Sunday. Into the mountains, well, 70s for Wednesday and Thursday. We get to 88 by the time we get to Sunday. So in this case, peak of the heat, not Saturday, but Sunday. So when we say the peak Saturday, it's a little bit of a generalization with all of the different regions that are in our area here. It's a little bit hard to give a blanket statement for everybody, but you can see in the desert, we do have that peak come Saturday with the 115. Yeah, sorry, our break, our little cooling trend only gets us down to 110 Wednesday through Friday. So especially here, make sure you're staying hydrated, getting in the shade, getting in the air conditioning as much as possible. For KPBS News, I'm AccuWeather's Anna Azalian.
Last year, KPBS saw a huge turnout for our first ever San Diego Book Festival. Mark your calendar because this year's event is coming soon. Join us Saturday, August 22nd at the University of San Diego. The QR code on your screen leads to all the details in an RSVP form. We'll have special panels, local authors, and vendors. And we'll be revealing our picks for the next cycle of One Book, One San Diego. Former Star Trek actor George Takei is a past One Book selection. He was honored at last week's Comic-Con and talked with KPBS arts and culture reporter Beth Accomando about the message behind his latest graphic novel. It rhymes with Takei.
I've written many books. They've been more, well, they all have been about discrimination. When I was a child, we were Japanese Americans were put into prison camps simply because we looked like this. We were in a war, the Second World War, with Japan as well as the Axis forces in Europe. But we're Americans, born and raised. My mother was born in Sacramento, that's America. My father was born in Japan, but came here as a child, and he was raised and educated in San Francisco. And I'm their child, and yet we were seen as the enemy simply because we looked like this. And so my other books dealt with that issue, putting innocent people, simply because we look like this, into prison camps. This book is about another generation, this current generation, who have problems with love. People who fall in love with people of their same gender. Women who fall in love with women, or men who fall in love with other men. And they get hated because of that. And so this one deals with that hate issue. And if we can deal with people to understand hate has no place in a civilized society, we got to know each other, enjoy each other, benefit from people's talents and what they have to contribute, and it becomes a better society and a stronger society. And that's the message of this book. It rhymes with Takei.
What appeals to you about working in the graphic novel?
Oh, well, when we got released from the prison camps, I was 9 years old. We didn't have movies, radio, certainly not television. You know, the outside world was completely closed. There was a prison that we were in. When we were released from that, I discovered a whole different world. There were radios, movies, and comic books. And to a 9-year-old kid, it was a wonderful discovery. I learned about how Green Hornet fought gangsters in New York, or how Bobby Benson and the B. Barbie Riders did battle with the bad cowboys. So, it was a wonderful discovery to tell stories with pictures. And so I decided to use that method because I'm aiming this at young people. We want to get to young people early so that their minds not closed. And that's why it's in the form of comic aids.
Thank you so
Here's a look at what we're working on for tomorrow in the KPBS newsroom. NPR Morning Edition is checking in on the midterm elections with some of the more competitive races for U.S. Senate. And KPBS Midday Edition speaks with meteorologist Alex Tardy about the dangerous surf forecast for our area. That airs at noon on KPBS FM. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jacob Ayer. Have a wonderful evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 45 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you.